Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Concept. And first of all, I just want to apologize for not uploading in a long while. I have been a little bit busy with schoolwork and work in general, so pardon me for that. Alright, in today's video we are going to create a certificate in Adobe Photoshop. This is quite useful if you haven't created one before or you want a simpler way to do it. Well, let's just get started. Welcome to Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. So as always, I'm using Photoshop and I'll go ahead and open it up and I'll click on create new. Now the size I'm going for this is going to be A4 because we'll be printing on A4 sheet. So I'll move over here where we have print and I'll select A4 from the preset and just click on create. I may also want to change it to a landscape orientation and I'll just click create here so that I wouldn't have to change it once it opens up. Now if you don't do that, you have to go to image, rotation and rotate it 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise to get it in a landscape form. You may also realize that I have these at the top. You see numbers on the edges on the left and numbers on the top. That is the rulers which you can activate by holding down the control key and pressing R. So that's going to come up here. This is quite useful because I like everything aligned at the center. So I'll click and drag to the center, and once I get to the center it should snap like so. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to create is actually a rectangle. So I'll go to the rectangle tool by right clicking on the shapes tool right here and select the rectangle tool, and I'll create a rectangle like so. Now I'm trying to make sure that everything is at the edges like so. If I bring up the shapes tool, if I bring up the move tool, you can see that I'm trying to make sure that the distance over here is about the same as the distance on the other side. So I'll just move over to the other side, probably around here, trying to make sure it's the same. There are simpler ways of doing this, but I just like engaging with my eyes because I feel comfortable with them. So something like this should be okay. Now you aren't really, so I'll grab the zoom tool and click on face screen. You aren't really seeing the shape because it is white and the background is also white. So if I move over to the layers panel where we have rectangle 1, I can just double click and select any color that I want. But this is not what I want to do. So what I'll do is I'll create a duplicate of this rectangle, so Ctrl J, and I'll actually put this on top. No, let's group this up, Ctrl G for group, and I'll call it borders. Now to rename anything here, you just double click on the name and you'll be able to do that. So for the bottom one, let's call it well, it doesn't have to have any name. I'll just double click and select any color that I want. So in my case, I'm going with a green color, a dark blue color. I think somewhere around here should be fine, and I'll click on OK. Now you still aren't seeing it because this is on top, the white is on top. So what I'll do is I'll just grab the shapes tool and I'll stretch it to cover up the entire space. The reason why I do this is I want to have some form of borders at the edges, and I believe this makes my work a lot easier. Now there's a simpler way of doing this. You don't have to go through this exact same method, but if you want to, let's turn off the eyeball for this. If you want to, you can make sure that this is a white color like so. Then you go to effects, making sure that this layer is still selected, effects, and click on stroke. Now once the stroke pops up, you can set the position to inside and change the color to whatever color you want, like the blue we just selected, and increase or decrease the size, and you basically have the same thing. But for some reason I prefer having mine this way, so I'll quickly undo by holding down Control and pressing Z several times. I prefer it having this way. I don't know why, but this is how I've been doing it all these whiles. So yeah, once I have this, let me go ahead and save it up. Let's just call it on title for now. I don't know when I can lose power at any time. Alright, so once I have this, I should have a logo at the top. The logo is where the heading and everything is going to be. So in my case, let's just grab one from my computer. Pardon me if you are not seeing anything. I'm actually looking on the second screen I have here, so it doesn't get too confusing for you guys. Now of course I'll be using this logo, so I just click and make sure I resize it to something like this. Now since this logo is in now, I think we have to change the color. So with the shape to this one, sorry, so since this is a shape, I can always just double click on the thumbnail and select whichever color I want, which is going to be this. I'll probably make it a much darker color. I'll probably select this. I think I'll go with this instead, and I'll just click on OK. Now once I have these, I can also group this up and call them probably heading. Then I can have a name in there. So this is going to be phenomenal concepts, so PEH, and I'll place it wherever I feel comfortable with. So I'll just I think I'll go with the Unisans font. So I'll just highlight everything and select Unisans. Now I may or may not leave a link in the description below, so pardon me for that. Now you can see these fonts are a bit closer to each other, so I'll go to window, and I'll click on character, and I'll try to increase this VA we have here. This refers to the spacing between the text, and I'll select whichever one I think looks okay for this. So I'll place this somewhere around here. Then I can have something like certificate of participation. Now this is going to be an entirely different font. I'm looking at tomato right now, but I think bunch blossom will also look great. October twilight also looks nice, but I think I'll go with bunch blossoms, and I'll just make it a much bigger font size. So I think about 36, I think about 24 should be okay, and I'll place it somewhere around here. Now the rest is going to be a bunch of text, but I want all of them to be Unisans. So what I'll do is I'll just click on that so that that preset is set, and I'll click somewhere else and just add it in there. This is to certify that. I'll place it somewhere around here, then I'll add in the rest of the information. So I have the information like this, and I'll just click on OK. Now I'll also want to add in a bunch of dots. I can just copy and paste several times. About this long should be fine, and just save it up. You don't really arrange all of these in a sequential order. I'm just leaving everything in one layer like so. Then once I'm done, I'll have a bunch of signatories at the bottom. So obviously my name is going to be Pat, so I'll add it in like Theolabi, probably content creator. Then I'll have some initials also in there, so for phenomenal concept. Now obviously this is going to be much smaller. I can even change it to a bold version or anything of that, but I'm going to make this much smaller, about 14 points, and I'll make this, instead of regular, I can use a bolder version, so probably heavy or semi-bold should be fine, and I'll just click on OK. So in case you have 3 signatories or about 2, you can just duplicate these, so using Ctrl J several times. Then once I'm done, I'll just use the move tool, which the short key is V on your keyboard, and I'll just hold down the shift key. Sometimes you may have to hold down the control key if you have auto select active. So I'll hold down the control and shift key, and I'll place one here, and I'll select the second one, and I'll place the other one somewhere around here. So you have these separated neatly. Now you may also want to rearrange a couple of things, but I think this is okay. What I also want to do is, I feel the borders are not as wide as I would want them. So what I'll do is I'll just select the white one, and I'll select the move tool, and also move them slightly inwards. So holding down the control and holding down the shift and alt key, I'll make them about something like this, should be just fine. Now there's something I usually add to my certificates, that is what I call borders. I don't know whatever name you want to call it with, so let me bring this up here. If I go to pictures and PS for Photoshop, now go to borders, I have a bunch of images downloaded from Google. So these are a couple of things I add on the edges just to make the design pop up just a little bit, but unfortunately, since I don't have that, I don't want to be using it so that I'll have to give you a link in the description. We are going ahead to create our very own. But if you go to Google and search borders, I'm sure you should have a few of them. So what I'm doing right now is I selected the ellipse tool and I'll click on the workspace just once and make sure that the width and height is about the same and click on OK. Now once I have that, you can see that the color is also white, so I can hardly see. So I'll double click and change it to this dark color. I'll probably use this light. I'll probably use this light color from here, and I'll place this somewhere around here and make it about this big. So once I have that, I'll also duplicate and put one on the other side like so. And if I want to go a little bit crazy, I can add in a little bit of dot. So no, let's do that. Let's actually change the color to this so that we can use the inner stroke for that. So I'll just select any of them, go to FX, click on stroke, and I can select a specific color. So probably this color should be fine, and I'll make the stroke much more tighter, so something about 50 pixels should be fine for me. The position is set to inside, so you can see the stroke is only showing inside, so something like this is okay. And I'll just copy this. So right click, go to copy layer style, select this, right click, go to paste layer style, so it will just copy and paste onto it. And I feel this is looking okay. This is a nice certificate you can give to someone or print out to someone. I almost forgot to add in a bunch of dots for this as well, so you can also do that like so and place it somewhere around here. So I'll just duplicate like I did previously and just have it in here like so. So this is a good certificate I can give to someone or print out to someone. Some I've realized also like to have the logo in the background. I don't usually like that, but in case you want that, you can create a duplicate of the logo, make one a very huge size about this big, and make sure that the opacity is set to about 5 or 10 depending on how opaque you want this to be. So basically this is it. This is a simple tutorial on how to create certificate. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Fino Concept, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.